The sun always rises in the east because the earth rotates from west to east. Not revolves, it rotates. Because the sun always rises in the east. That means they are asking about the day and night. Difference between rotates and revolves. Objects spinning motion about its own axis, it's called rotates. For example, here is an object and it's moving on its own axis. On the basis of that motion, we can see day and night. So that means rotating. And what is the meaning of revolves? Revolves mean object's orbital motion around another object, For example, here is a sun and earth is moving in an orbital motion. Here is an earth and it's moving around the sun, around another object. So that means the earth is revolving. On the basis of revolving, we can see the seasons, 4 seasons in a year. And the basis of rotation, we can see the days and nights. Number 22. A ship sailing from Vancouver to Tokyo crosses the international date line on Wednesday, the 8th of November. What will be the next day? That is the 10th of November. When we will cross the international date line, then we will skip the day and the date also. And when we will cross back that line, then we will enter into the previous day. But the one day will be skipped due to that international cross line. Crossing the international date line means the international date line functions as a line of demarcation. It's separating two consecutive calendar dates. It separates two consecutive calendar dates. When you cross the date line, you become a time traveler of sorts. Cross to the west and it's one day later. For example, if you are crossing the line, it's the international date line and you are crossing this line from east to west, you are crossing that line on Wednesday. But when you will cross the line, you will enter into the Friday. One day will be skipped. So, when you will cross back and you have gone back in time. If again you will cross back the line towards the east, then you will again enter into the Wednesday. And if you will move forward, then you will enter into the Friday. One day will be skipped. Thursday will be skipped. So keep in mind. Springtide occurs when Earth, Moon and the Sun are in a straight line. Earth, Moon and the Sun are in a straight line, then springtide occurs. When Sun, Earth and the Moon are at the right angles to each other, then it's called neap tide. It happens at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. What is the meaning of other terms? Earth comes near the Sun, then it's summer. And when Earth is away from the Sun, then it's winter. It's very much clear, but keep in mind, if Earth, Moon and Sun are in a straight line, then it's springtide. And if Earth, Sun and the Moon are in the right angles to each other, then it's neap tide. Number 24. Which of the following words explain a narrow strip of land? Narrow strip of land separating two seas and connecting two landmarks. Means two landmarks are connecting and two seas are disconnecting or separating to each other. So the correct option is isthmus. But what is the meaning of these terms? If there is another word rather than that statement, then one option should be from these options. So we need to know about these options. So let's see. Here are 4 these terms which have different meanings. Isthmus. a narrow strip of land that connects two larger land masses and separates two bodies of water. You can see in the picture. Strait, a narrow passage of water that connects two seas or two other large areas of water. You can see in the picture. Then bay, a broad inlet of the sea where the land curves inward. Land curves inwards. Picture is in front of you. You can see. Peninsula, a piece of land almost surrounded by water or projecting out into a body of water. Here is the picture in front of you, and now you can check the difference between isthmus, strait, bay and peninsula. Number 25. Presence of which gas in the outermost layer of the atmosphere does not allow ultraviolet rays of the sunlight to reach Earth? That is ozone layer. Number 26. The second largest continent in terms of area is Africa. The second largest continent is Africa in terms of area. The detailed video about the largest to smallest continents is already given. I will give you the link in the I button. You can see that video as well. Number 27. South Pole was discovered by. South Pole was discovered by. The correct option is Amundsen, and the North Pole is discovered by Robert Peary. John Cabot. He discovered the Newfoundland and Cape Breton Island on the North American coast. If the statement will be changed and they write about these discoveries, then the answer will be John Cabot. Robert Peary. He was the US Navy engineer, discovered the North Pole in 1909. The dates on which day and night are equal. The dates on which days and nights are equal. That is 21st March and 23rd December. 21st March and 23rd December, on which day and night are equal. Number 29. At which place on earth there is always day and night of an equal duration? Means the duration of days and nights are equal. At which place? The correct option is on the equator. On the equator. And what's the meaning of other terms? So here you can see the difference. On the equator, days and nights are equal, and on the poles 24 hours of day and 24 hours of night. And Tropic of Cancer is called the northern tropic. Here is the longest daylight and shortest night in June. And the Tropic of Capricorn is called the southern tropic. Here the least daylight and the longest nights in winter. Number 30. A line on a map joining places having equal atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure is called isobar. The term isotherm meaning is already told you in the previous lecture. I will give you the link in the I button. You can listen that lecture as well. Now the new term is isocryme and isolyte. Isocryme is the same mean temperature for a specific coldest time of the year. If we replace the atmospheric pressure with the same mean temperature for a specific coldest time of the year, the correct option will be isocryme. And isolyte, it's not describing any kind of line on the map, it's a fluid used for a patient. So isolyte is a fluid used for patients. These were today's questions. If you have any question, then write that down in the comment box. Like the video, share the video and subscribe to the Eastern Psychologist.